So I recently found out that Teostra is my most hunted monster in Rise and Sunbreak. Then I thought I should be your teacher on how to slay Teostra, or lessen the pain at least. So welcome everyone. Today I'll cover Teostra's movesets and strategies. I'll provide general tips on how to survive and last longer in a fight against him. So let's begin. First up, Teostra's weakest part is his head. It's also the most dangerous place to be at since almost all of his attacks comes from the front. So make sure to stand on either side of his shoulders and roll away from it to avoid most of his attacks. For cutting damage, the tail is the second weakest spot. So cutting weapons should also focus on the tail, especially when he is knocked down. Just make sure to watch out if he puts his tail up and he looks back at you, because he's gonna swipe you with his tail twice if he senses you coming from behind. One thing you guys probably didn't realize is that Teostra is very easily startled. When he notices you for the first time, it will immediately roar. So be ready to roll or guard or equip at least level 4 earplugs. Does anyone out there still use earplugs? I also wanted to add that he roars for 4 different reasons. 1 after seeing him for the first time, 2nd is after not finding him for a long time, 3rd is when he activates one of his aura, and once he does have an aura activated, the 4th reason is when he goes to rage mode, and this is the only roar that Defiance can block. One important thing that a lot of people probably ignore is that he has 2 danger states, blast and flame auras. Depending on what aura he's on, some of his attacks will change. With his flame aura, he'll use his flame attacks more often. Some of them becomes more stronger and fiercer. And he'll switch between these 2 auras after knocking him out from the last one or after using his Supernova. When you see him covered in glitter, that's his blast aura. He stops using his flame attacks, and instead, some attacks will make blast orbs appear, and with a click of his tongue, they will all explode. If you see no blast orbs on his face, then you get a good opening with this, and that's because he spends so much time doing this. As you guys get used to fighting Teostra, you'll slowly figure out which attacks will follow up with this animation. He usually does this after some big attacks, but he'll always do this proud roar after making his blast orbs explode. Now let me talk about one of his favorite moves. The charge attack. It's similar to a cat charging at you, but with twice the power. Once you see him put his front legs close together, that's the signal to roll to the side. This move is f***ing annoying, because he does this very abruptly. There's barely enough time to react, and sometimes he does this twice. Under blast mode, he leaves blast orbs around his trail. One more annoying thing that he does is his jump attack. This one also comes out very quickly, but you'll notice Teostra slightly lowering his head as a warning. Under blast aura, he'll explode upon landing. Make sure to roll to either side, because once he prefers to jump, he is already locked into where you were standing, so make sure to keep moving. If he pulls his front leg back for a couple of seconds like this, expect to get swiped by his paw. This is one of the easiest moves to counter. With blast aura, blast orbs will appear where he attacked. Then he'll either do this, or if he's angry, he'll summon more blast orb in a straight line, then do this. So here's more about Teostra's blast aura when he's in rage. You'll notice him do a combo of 2 attacks very often. An example of this is when he summons blast orbs around him. Normally you'd expect him to detonate those orbs right away, but when in rage, he'll do another attack that will detonate the orbs right after. So be careful when he's in rage and watch out for a second attack. One more thing he does when he's in rage is this mini nova. This happens when the screen zooms out, he stands up on his hind legs, and he starts to charge up an explosion in front of him. You should have time to simply roll away from this area. There are some attacks where blast orbs explode almost instantly. I call them premature explosions. A few examples of this is when he quickly gets up on his hind legs and brings out blast orbs in a straight line. Or when he pulls his head back, expect blast orbs on his face. With flame mode, fire will come out in the same direction that he moves his head. This is another easy move to counter. Next up are moves that he does at master rank. One of this is when he does a left and right pound combo that finishes with a spin. During this attack, those paws will track you, especially the second one, so keep your guard up or keep rolling away to the sides. Watch out for blast orbs and roll away from the spin move, or block it because it can do 2 hits if you're too close. If Teostra looks like he's about to sneeze really bad, roll away from his face because you might catch an explosion, but you're not safe yet because he'll follow up with a jump attack. Usually you can roll towards some monsters to avoid their jump attacks, but since you'll be hit by Teostra's invisible crotch, it's best to roll to the sides instead. At this point you might be thinking, what's the point of the video if all you have to do is roll to the sides? But how about moves that simply rolling sideways can't dodge? You'll find more of it when he starts using his flame aura. And a note for gunners, when he starts using this aura, your ammo deals almost no damage on every part of his body. Except for his head. So what are the moves to watch out for? If he starts lifting his head and his leg, he's gonna breathe out his flamethrower and sweep it in front of him in a cone twice. Roll forward towards his shoulders if you're close, or run like hell to the other side and Superman dive if you have to, because this thing has range. Whether you're on the ground or on the air, he will aim this at you. Sometimes he'll do his flamethrower while flying. He'll sweep that flame on the ground left and right while slowly moving forward. The safest place to be is just directly underneath him. When he's done, he'll land back on the ground, giving you a small opening for punishment. But if he's enraged, he'll stare you right in the eye, wind back a little bit, and dive at you. Because he hates you that much. Then you get your opening. Once he starts standing up on his hind legs without the camera zooming out, start running away because he's gonna pee. He's gonna throw up a strong flamethrower on his feet. I call this move the fire vomit. So once Teostra has had enough of your shit, he's gonna blow you up with his strongest attack, Supernova. You'll know this is coming if you see him lift off the ground and fly low like this. After lifting off, he'll immediately curl up, then explode. All of this will happen in a really short period of time, usually enough to sheath your weapon and Superman dive. Sometimes it's hard to completely get out of the way because the radius of his supernova is very wide, but if you manage to break his horns before this attack, then the radius will become smaller. But in any case, here are other ways to deal with this attack. Supernova is normally unblockable, but if your weapon has a shield, you can equip guard up to make Supernova blockable. If you're a charge blade user, this will make it possible to guard point the attack, and with enough guard, you can continue with your usual counter shenanigans. Godlike! You know what? Just block it and wait for him to come down. Oh! If you have the power of anime on your side, then you can counter this attack if you time it right. And if you really believe in yourself, then you can just simply dodge. Please don't do this online. Now one more way to deal with his supernova is by not dealing with it. That means you need to keep on attacking the head until you knock it out of rage mode, because this will stop the countdown before he uses his supernova. It would also knock him out of whatever aura he is using at the time. So what have you learned today? If you want to beat Teostra, keep attacking his head, dodge sideways, and leave a like and subscribe for more. Thank you.